everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the 3 Yards in a Cloud of Dust NFL podcast. As always, I'm your host, Josh, and with me, my co-host, Jonathan.
Did you miss my beautiful voice?
Yeah, we do apologize for being away for so long. It's just life is
Hectic.
kicking us in the butt right now. But we do have a couple of things that we wanted to talk about, so let's hop right in.
But some of these things are about 3 weeks old, and some of them
Yeah.
are some new stuff. So just keep that in consideration.
Yeah. So first up, we have the Steelers have released their offensive lineman David DeCastro. Now this did happen a few weeks ago, and since then a few other developments have come out, and it seems that because of he's had some nagging injury issues, not to mention his age, and it just seems like it was the best time for the Steelers to move on from DeCastro.
Yeah,
And
he's been with the Steelers for 9 years, and it was about time for him to move on anyway, and for them to bring in a younger guy to take that spot.
Yeah, and it does seem like they are going with a bit of a youth movement on their offensive line. Earlier, they released Alejandro Villanueva.
Which I was actually surprised about.
Yeah, I was too, because he is one of the better guards. But so those both Villanueva and DeCastro are now gone. They pretty much revamped that entire offensive line, kind of similar to what the Las Vegas Raiders have done this offseason.
And DeCastro is actually now trying to figure out if he wants to try to get on another team or, with his injury, just retire.
Yeah. So he is contemplating retirement at this point. So we wish him the best of luck, and we hope he figures out what the best path for him is.
Yep.
And then next up, we have an update on the Frank Clark story. He is currently facing a 3-year prison sentence for the earlier illegal possession of a firearm charge that happened about a month ago.
Yeah.
That he was arrested for down in L.A. And so it's unfortunate that it's come down to this. You think you would have learned after the first one?
But he is a young player, and he's still trying to figure that one out.
Still, I mean, you expect somebody to... I mean, you just kind of expect somebody like that to have a little more common sense.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to have it in the back of your car, at least don't have it out
open,
where it can easily be seen. I mean, come on.
Have it in its case or something.
Yeah. And I mean, you've already been arrested for a similar charge once. I mean, you have to assume he'd been twice before.
Yeah, both times he's been arrested was for the same thing.
Well, right. I'm talking, but I mean, before this last one.
Yeah, before this last one.
Okay.
This was the third time with the same instance.
Wow. All right. Yeah. At this point, though, like, there's no way when you're getting pulled over. One of the first things that police do is run your plates. They already know who you are when they're walking up to the car. They already know your past infractions, so you have to assume that they're going to be looking for that kind of thing to nail you again.
Yeah.
So it was.
It was just bad luck.
Bad luck and
bad placement.
Stupidity on Frank Clark's part.
Yep.
And it's a shame because he's a really good player. He really is.
He's a good young player, and you don't really see that very often. Who can actually stay consistent, because he was consistent.
Well, he's, 28, 29 years old?
Yeah.
I mean, he's still, fairly young.
But he was consistent.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, he's one of the top defensive ends in the league.
And you don't really see that for defensive ends either.
Yeah.
Especially someone his age and being consistent at his young age.
Yeah, there's still no news yet on what kind of penalties the league is going to hand out for this. So even if for some reason he doesn't end up going to prison, he could still be facing suspension.
I wouldn't be surprised if they suspended him for at least a year.
Yeah.
To try to get through his head. It's like, this is not okay.
Yeah.
This is the third time.
Yeah, I mean,
they didn't take any action the first 2 times, but the 3 times in a row, I'm sorry, no.
I'm actually surprised that it's taken this long for the league to hand out some kind of punishment, because they've they've indefinitely suspended players for lesser infractions than this.
Yeah,
A lot faster.
yeah. I'm like, probably one. He may have been suspended for a few games. It's like, and if he didn't do it again,
I mean,
that would be fine. But
with
it's like,
him facing possible prison time,
yeah, I wouldn't
he's
be.
at least going to be suspended for the year.
Yeah. So this one would
So-
definitely be interesting, and we'll keep you guys updated on about what that one is. We'll Twitter it if something big pops up, and then we'll report it when we can.
And then in other news, not really new news on the Aaron Rodgers front because he still isn't showing up.
To mandatory minicamp, but he is actually saying that he is going to be figuring out what he's going to do for the 2021 season within these upcoming months.
Yeah, and I mean, if he doesn't show, honestly, with everything that's gone on, if I was the head coach, I definitely wouldn't be playing him those first couple of games, even if he showed up before preseason, just because of the way he's acting. You know, he's proving that this is just completely about his ego, and it's not about any other thing.
Yeah, but with also how the new rookie is acting with through all this, I wouldn't be surprised if they benched him too and brought in the third string for those first few games of to start the preseason.
No, I think Jordan Love will get the starts in at least the first game of the preseason, and they'll see how he does under pressure. I know he has had some struggles. You know, he confidently came out and said that they don't need Aaron Rodgers anymore because they have him. But
I think with him saying
he jumped the gun a little bit on that one.
I think with him saying they don't need Aaron Rodgers and he's the new Tom Brady, I think he's gonna have a huge target on his back at that point, and a lot of defense are gonna try to hit him.
Yeah, when you make that, but it's not just going to be about the defensive players trying to hit him. It's also going to be the commentators and the analysts are going to be heavily scrutinizing him because he sat there and put himself up on a pedestal. He's literally set himself up to fail at this point.
Oh yeah,
I don't want him to.
No.
If anything, I want him to be better than Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady combined. Hell, it would be fun to have two guys like Patrick Mahomes out there. That are completely similar in either league. That would make for some great Super Bowls.
How about him being like almost identical to Drew Brees?
That could work.
Because
I think that could work.
My opinion, Drew Brees is better than Tom Brady all the way around, but Tom Brady has had more weapons than Drew Brees has his entire career.
I wouldn't say that Tom Brady's had more weapons. I'd say that he's had more consistency on both sides of the ball.
That's what I mean. It's like
it's not so much that he's had the weapon, because Tom Brady's done wonders with some no-name teams, but these guys, they stepped up and they were consistent. They were playing a consistent level of football.
Yeah.
But whereas Drew Brees he's had several big weapons throughout his tenure with the New Orleans Saints, and they've fallen short because something somewhere just wasn't up to snuff.
Yep.
And it was usually the defense, to be honest.
Oh yeah. But to me.
But as of right now, because Aaron Rodgers has not made a decision, I'm pretty sure the Packers are going forward at this moment with Jordan Love as their number one starter for day one.
Yep.
Don't know how much that's going to work out. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening, whether Aaron Rodgers plays any of the preseason, whether he starts game one. You can kind of tell that I'm essentially tired of this whole storyline.
Oh yeah, but
I just want it to be done one way or another. Either he needs to retire, go to another team, or he needs to shut up and play football.
Yeah, because this is his. In the end, this is his job. If he doesn't want to do his job, release him.
Yeah.
That's just my point of view on it.
Yeah, but another interesting story involving another Green Bay Packer came to light a couple weeks ago when a certain Las Vegas Raiders quarterback decided to hit up social media, basically claiming that he is going to full court press the recruitment strategy for one Davante Adams.
I really think that Derek Carr played basketball in high school before going to football.
I don't know if he did, but I know he's a big basketball fan.
Yeah, but I'm like, with that type of wording with how he said it, I really think he played football and basketball in high school.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they don't have overlap in high school.
No, they don't. And I don't think they do in college either, but
I think they do for a few weeks.
But anyways, yeah, I don't know whether and that's kind of beside the point. It's just it's interesting to hear him say stuff like that, and even Davante Adams himself responded. I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was something along the lines of like, "Bring it on!" Like, I'm waiting for you. And what a lot of people, there's a lot of people that are basically they're split 50-50 at this point. A lot of people are saying that no, Davante Adams will never be on the Raiders. A lot of other people are saying that, yeah, it absolutely could happen. And I think it actually has a better chance of happening than a lot of people realize, simply due to the fact that Derek Carr and Davante Adams were teammates at Fresno State.
Yeah, and I really do see this one really actually happening within either later this season or when Adams' contract is up at the end of the year. Yeah, I really do see it happening.
I could definitely see it happening in free agency next year. I doubt it'll happen before the season, just because the Raiders don't have a lot to work with at the moment.
I'm not saying before the season. I'm talking about by the deadline.
Yeah, no, I don't think it'll happen this year, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Just because the Raiders don't have a lot to work with. They'd have to give up too much to get him, whereas if they waited for free agency, then they could start making some bids for him.
Makes sense. Okay.
And that's, like I said, you've already got that relationship that's developed between Carr and Adams. So if something does happen with Rodgers, if Rodgers ends up on the move to somewhere else after this season, or if he just flat out retires and then doesn't come back, then I really could see Davante Adams moving to another team.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Especially if Jordan Love doesn't pan out, then there's no reason for him to stick around in Green Bay after Rodgers is gone.
Exactly. And this will be the first year where the 1 year he can see will this actually pan out.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's going to hinge on what Aaron Rodgers does this season and next season. If he decides that he doesn't want to play and he wants to basically, walk from Green Bay, if he wants to try and go play with another team and retire and then come back next year, yeah, a lot of factors are going to go into that. If he decides to play this year and then, he and Green Bay are able to work something out where he comes back next year, I could easily see Davante Adams going back to Green Bay.
I really don't, because I think even Adams is pretty much done with this whole situation with Rodgers and everything. So I really wouldn't be surprised if he left.
Honestly, I think the news of a lot of the players in the locker room in Green Bay supporting Aaron Rodgers, I think that's, I don't know. I don't know how much of that is true.
I think it's mostly the line, not so much the running back or the wide receivers. I think that's mostly line.
Yeah, either that or it's being hyped up to be more than what it is.
Yeah.
Like they're basically saying he's getting more support than what he actually is getting. Because I can't see too many people in there actually seeing what he's doing as being okay. This is detrimental to the Packers, and we've gone over this several times. I don't really want to go into it too much anymore. No. But I honestly, as a Raiders fan myself, I would love to see Davante Adams in that wide receiver core.
Oh yeah.
I mean, could you imagine Davante Adams, Henry Ruggs, Darren Waller? That tandem would be incredible.
Yeah, and like I said before, it's like I really could see it happening.
Yeah, and
it's like I'm a Dolphins fan.
Yeah,
I would love to see him go to the Dolphins, but I see it more going to the Raiders because of that chemistry with call already.
Yeah, and that's it. That's the thing too. They were really good friends in college. I'm pretty sure they've stayed decent friends since then.
Oh no, it's like you can tell in how they talk on social media that they're still good friends because
Yeah.
of how they talk.
So they've got that relationship. So I think it's got a lot better chance of happening than a lot of people realize.
Yeah.
So, but I think that's most of the news that we have for the last couple of weeks. Nothing major has really happened.
Nope.
And we're really not going to see a whole lot of major stuff. As we said before, we're not going to see a whole lot of major news until the preseason starts, which are only going to be 3 games this year.
I'm really curious to see if Tim Tebow will actually end up being in the main roster at the end of the
Yeah,
preseason.
I'd like to. I'm interested to see whether or not he makes the opening day roster as well. I don't know if it's going to happen because they've got what 5, 6 tight ends on their roster right now.
I wouldn't be surprised if I saw him as a third string. I really wouldn't. It's like not as a first or second string, but I could see him as a third string.
Yeah, if he does make it, then it will be as a lower string. Maybe they could end up using him as a tight end / fullback.
Yeah, and they could do easily some trick plays with him. Well, they can toss it back to him.
It depends on how well he can handle the position.
Yeah,
It's going to depend. I am definitely going to want to see him play in preseason.
Yeah.
Before I make any official judgments on whether or not he actually belongs there.
Yeah, and that's gonna be the one big thing we're all gonna be watching is can Tim Tebow play tight end?
Yeah. But before we do sign off, one thing we do want to say, we want to make an apology because unfortunately we had plans to do this big, huge divisional breakdown where we'd go through and just
every player of every division, every team of every division.
Yeah,
there we go.
we were gonna sit there and go through and analyze every team of every division and assess where they were last year, go over where we think they'll be this year. But unfortunately,
and also going through and basically going based off what their schedule and what the teams they're gonna be facing and them at everything and kind of balancing out. Okay. They will heal that last year. They'll be healed. We think they'll be here this year.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, we just won't be able to get to it because of life.
We're not going to be able to get to that because our work schedules are getting in the way. We're not able to consistently meet up with each other, as evidenced by the staggering of these videos themselves. This is the second time in about a month and a half that we've had a 2-3 week break in between episodes, and that's unfortunately the best we can do at the moment. We still want to get stuff out to you guys. Obviously, there's not a whole lot of big news going on week to week right now, so it's kind of made it a little easier.
Yeah,
going with that.
It makes it a little bit easy that you have a set schedule, but unfortunately, because of where I work, my schedule fluctuates week to week.
Yeah. So, like I said, we apologize for that. We will be doing kind of a little bit of a muted version of it, where we will go in and we will still evaluate each team, but we're not going to do it as in depth as we had planned.
Yeah.
So you can kind of expect, instead of every team getting their own episode, every division's going to get their own episode, and it's going to be rather muted compared to what we originally had planned. So we still are going to try and give you something, and we're going to try and get this out all before the season starts. However, it's not what we wanted to do completely, but it's the best we can do given our current situations.
Yeah, and if basically we're going to try and put out a couple of the divisions each week, and so there's going to be four weeks of 2 divisions a week, and
something like that.
Just kind of going through and kind of so everyone can still kind of no team is left behind and no division is left behind.
Yeah.
So.
And then, do we want to let him in on the big news?
Which one?
The big news.
Oh, my big news?
No, well, not well. We can do that next episode, but I mean, our collective big news. Even though nothing is absolutely official yet.
We can say we're working on something big, and we'll once everything's more set in stone, we'll let you guys more in on what's happening.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So you heard the man. We'll let you know as we go. Once everything becomes absolutely official, we'll let you in on everything.
Yep.
But we want to thank you again for joining us this week. We know it sucks when the fact that it's been so
staggered,
so long between episodes. We really do hate doing that to you guys. Like I said, it's just not a whole lot of big news going on. Plus, our work schedules have been hectic. So,
and the biggest,
once again, we do apologize for that, but we do appreciate the continued support.
And please tell your friends, because we really want to get more episodes out, but the only way we can do that is with more of your guys' support and more people who watch this support. So please subscribe, comment, like the video, even dislike it.
Yeah.
If you don't like what you hear, feel free to dislike it.
Any attention is good attention at this point.
Because the only way we can really make this and do it like multiple days a week is with your guys' support.
Yeah.
That's really the only way, but we do appreciate the ones that are already here.
Yep. And we hope you'll continue to go with us.
Yep.
And until the next one, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.